Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather Hope and you are here for Conscious Creating with Heather Hope. Okay, you may remember me from if you are a subscriber to my channel. My channel was named a couple of things before now. It was originally named The Millionaire Manifester. If you follow me on Facebook, that is one of my pages. So I am the Millionaire Manifester. I've had that page for a few years now. But then I changed my YouTube channel to The Inspired Entrepreneur. I'm also that. And you can still find my podcast. I'm no longer really doing anything on that podcast at the moment. But I decided to come on YouTube because I've been wanting to be, ultimately, I really want to be a full-time YouTuber. It is, out of everything that I do, it is the one thing that I think about more often, especially when I'm out in the world and dealing with people. I'm like, being a YouTuber is so much easier. So I named my channel Conscious Creating with Heather Hope, because that is what we're really doing here. We're really consciously creating. And I've spent the last year completely not coaching anybody. I closed down all my coaching programs the end of last year, and I needed a break. I was so burnt out and I needed to go do something else completely by myself. So I closed down everything. I continued with my daily podcast for a few more months, and then I was done. I was so burnt out with that. So I took off some time, started a few businesses, did some cool things, and was really craving my YouTube channel, really craving being a manifestation coach again, like really wanting to do this stuff again. So it's been on my mind for months, and during this year, I have really learned a lot more. You may know, as you followed me on my pages on Facebook, you can find me on Facebook either under The Millionaire Manifester, which is just basically quotes and memes and stuff, or Heather Hope Read, which is my other business page, and which I do post on regularly, pretty much daily. And so you may know that I've been an Abraham Hicks follower, like really everything is Abraham Hicks for me. However, the last few months, I gravitated towards Neville Goddard. Now, I've had clients in the past talk about Neville Goddard, and I just never got into him. I was really just sticking to one, which is Abraham, and I know Abraham very thoroughly. I connected with that message. I really, truly understood the message. I just dug deep into their message. And now moving forward, I'm really excited about Neville Goddard and the Law of Assumption. So I've been following some Law of Assumption coaches on YouTube, and I have to say how quickly I am manifesting more. A lot faster now. I would have to say, I think I said it on my podcast. I did do a episode, I think it's on this channel, about about how similar Abraham Hicks is to what I've got my TV on. This was totally impromptu to film in my living room. This is my living room, and let me bring that back on. I do actually have a whole YouTube studio, and I have yet to use it just because it's just seems to be whatever. I don't know. But I was just sitting here, and I have my phone, and I have my thing to hold my phone, and I turn it on, and I see that I've got this really pretty background. It's probably the prettiest background in my entire house is right here. So I'm like, why not? Let's just do this. Let's just make this super easy, right? Because life does not have to be difficult at all. So let me go back to the whole thing with Abraham and Neville Goddard. Law of Attraction and Law of Assumption. I don't want to get too much into it, but I do know that because I know Abraham Hicks's message really well, that I do know that they're pretty much saying the same things. And I'm not going to argue with anybody, but when you listen to law of assumption coaches, they do make it sound so much more simpler than law of attraction coaches, than whoever else. They really do. And so I'll give it to them, that because that's all I watch now is law of assumption coaches, because they're so matter of fact. They're very blunt, which I really admire, because that's really my personality, is super blunt. I swear a lot, like you may not ever know, because I really clean it up. As a former therapist, I had to clean up, what I say to clients. And it's funny how many manifestation coaches were therapists. And I think it's just because we're always looking for answers. We're always questioning things. And then we end up finding the truth. And so then we kind of jump ship with psychology and therapy and jump into manifestation coaching. It is fascinating to see that over and over and over and over and over. So if you don't know who I am, I was a licensed psychotherapist for 12 years, and I'm telling people I retired. I retired at like 40. Yeah, retired at 40. I retired instead of saying, I just stopped because it's crazy. I retired early, and loved what I was doing at the time, but I was very miserable. My clients were not getting better. The field is super toxic. That's not even the reason why I left. It's not. I left because I needed a flexible position. So I went into private practice and then went into online coaching. This was about 6 years ago. So I've been a mindset coach, manifestation coach for the past 6 years. Although I did take this past year off. So, but I'm completely back because this is what I love to do. So anyhow, let's get back to law of attraction and law of assumption. Basically, Neville Goddard talks about the law of assumption. And trust me, I don't know everything at all about this. I am learning as we go with Neville Goddard and law of assumption and all the things that he talks about. So I can give you a perspective from my point of view with working with Abraham. And I gotta say, it's just semantics, because I've worked with quantum physicists and it's all the same stuff. It's literally all the same stuff. It's just everybody wants to call things differently. And it's just, basically, it ends up being whatever you believe will be true. Whatever you believe will be true. And so law of attraction, or Abraham Hicks, let's just say Abraham Hicks says, whatever you believe is true. So whatever your belief systems is what creates your reality. So whatever you believe to be true. So no matter what it is, whatever you believe will be true, the truth for you. So when people tell me the truth, it's a pet peeve of mine. People say the truth. Oh, the truth is, and I'm like, it's your truth. It may not be my truth. You know what I mean? Like my truth is, whatever it is, and that is what manifests. So law of assumption is whatever you assume will be true. Now tell me the difference between belief and assume, like believing and assuming. Now, maybe I kind of feel like assuming feels a little bit more powerful, just the word itself, maybe the meaning. But if you assume something, right? Assume. I actually should look it up. Assuming means you believe it, right? Like, how is there a difference? I don't know. Tell me if there's a difference. Maybe I am just not getting it, but it doesn't really matter. That's really what the point is. It doesn't really matter. So I'm jumping into the pond of law of assumption and Neville Goddard, and with my background of Abraham Hicks and law of attraction and all that good stuff. So I'm not even sure what this video is really about. I've been debating. I have this long list of topics to talk about, but all day I'm like, what am I going to talk about for my first video? What am I going to do? Now, what I really want, and I admire these coaches so much, and I can tell you who all the people I watch, you should go watch them, or you'll probably hear from them. But I love how some of them are really just turn on the camera and start talking, because I think that just makes a person feel so real. And it's like podcasting. I absolutely love podcasting, but I do personally resonate with people when I can see them. And I know like video is more powerful, visual is more powerful than a podcast. So I've been wanting to get on as a face-to-face, as a YouTube channel on camera. Occasionally I've done it. I didn't like the results of it. I didn't like the lighting, the background, I didn't like my hair. I didn't like my complexion, like all these things I didn't like. And that really bothered me. So that made me not want to do it. Now I feel like, yes, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready. So let me leave you with one thing. The biggest takeaway so far that I am getting from Neville Goddard and the Law of Assumption, which is, if you go back, and I do this, I will go back and listen to some Abraham Hicks about the same thing, and they're saying the same thing. I just think they're saying it so differently that a lot of people are not fully grasping it. Does that make sense? And so the Law of Assumption coaches really just drill it to the point, like right to the point. Here is what you need to do. So basically, thoughts create. Your thoughts create. Every single thought creates. Abraham Hicks says the same thing. So your thoughts create. So how I see this is that, since this is, and I'm also a follower of Bashar, I'm a follower of Sanaya Roman, who channels Oren. I have all of her books. I'm a big channeler follower. But how I see this is that this is all an imagination, that everything is like kind of none of this is really real. And so how I see this is that every thought is creating your path in that moment. Like everything's just being unfolded, like your path, your genuine, like outside this environment, like in this environment, my thoughts are creating my path. Does that make sense? So every thought is creating. So if I have a negative thought, it's creating this path that is not the path that I truly want. So our thoughts are vital. Every single thought is vital. And I hope that, off topic here, I hope the way that I'm holding this camera, that it's right. If it's not right, we will find out real soon. Because when I do it the other way, it's not working correctly. So we're going to just see. And I really hope this works. I really hope so, because it looks so much better than what the other thing did. And I almost don't care, but I know people will be like, blah, blah, blah. Hold the camera right. I get it. So anyway, so every single thought matters. And so this channel is called Conscious Creating. So we're consciously creating our path. We are consciously creating our dream life. That is what I focus on. I focus on this all day, every day, because I am freaking so serious about what I'm manifesting more than ever. I want everything that I want. There goes my lighting. I want everything I want, and I want it now. I've totally cleaned up my language. I can tell. I've really cleaned it up over time. You listen to these coaches and they're just like, whoa, okay. I want what I want, and I'm very serious about it. So I'm serious. And so Neville talks about the mental diet. And I'm going to have to go soon, because I don't know how long my camera is going to do this. talks about mental diet. For the last few years working with my clients, I've called it hardcore mindset because it is. It's hardcore. I go hardcore when I talk about my manifestations, when I focus on what I'm thinking about, when I've been doing this for so many years of thinking better thoughts. You know, as a therapist, that's what we do. We focus on thoughts. We focus on how to think good. So I've been doing this for years, but I got very serious a couple of years ago about what is called the self-concept, which I didn't even hear about until like last month. But we'll get into that into more videos in the future. So what I want to leave you with today is affirmations. I've talked a lot about it, a lot. Affirming what it is that you want all day long. Okay? Affirmations, affirmations, affirmations. A belief is a thought that you keep thinking, right? So we got to pick new thoughts, like consciously pick new thoughts and think them and say them. I like saying them all the time until they become a belief, until we start seeing it, right? A lot of times we see it and then we believe it, but we have to believe it before we see it. We don't necessarily have to believe it. We just have to talk about it. We have to think about it. We have to get really serious, hardcore mindset, right? Super serious. Like, I am serious about the stuff that I want. And I seriously don't talk negative about anything. Well, that's not true. Not everything. But the things that I want, I don't talk negative about them because I am seriously wanting them now. So, affirmations. What is it that you want? Affirm it all day long. As if it's already manifested, right? Okay. So, that was probably a lot. I hope it was helpful. I intend for this video to be helpful. I intend for this to reach lots of people. I am going to be offering coaching any minute now. Yes, any minute now. I'm going to start with email coaching at first, and then we'll see how my schedule allows, because I want to keep a very flexible schedule. And then I will open up like a VIP group because I've done it in the past. I did it for a few years, and we're going to reopen so I can do some group coaching with anybody who really wants to work. That was what I closed down last year. This year, we're going to do something just totally different. Now, if you didn't know, I was a law of attraction business coach for the past 3-4 years. And I worked with business owners. And now I actually have a marketing company I have here locally where I live. And I work with a whole bunch of business owners in marketing. Actually, advertising. I have an advertising business here, print advertising. So I work with business owners all the time. But this is all going to be like specific person. I have a whole different outlook about manifesting a specific person. I completely get it now. And it is, Abraham Hicks talks about the same thing, just in totally different words. Now I get it, because in the past, if you go back to any of my podcasts, all of them, I have over 300 episodes. I was adamant about, why the hell would you want an ex? No, you don't want your ex back. You want the version of your ex back. The version that you want back. You want that person back. I get it now. I completely get all of this stuff now. It's like I had to go outside of Abraham to understand some of the things that I didn't understand. Does that make sense? And then I go back, I'm like, oh yeah, so that's what they were saying about this. And I learned it from Neville instead. Totally fine. So anyway, off track. So I've got email coaching opening, and I'll put that in the description box if you're open to that. And a VIP group opening next year. Very, very soon, which is in a couple weeks, right? Okay, guys, I'm going to take off. Have an amazing rest of your day, night, morning, whatever time it is for you. I'm very happy to be back. I hope this video works out. I hope it looks good. I hope everything is good. So have an amazing rest of whatever day it is for you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.